Alright, hello guys. Everything's loading in. How are you all guys doing? It's Cedric. What kind of jobs? It's telecommunication, alright. Audio works. Pretty good. So basically building a telecommunication tower, just pulling up some antennas and cabling them. So it's a pretty hard job, climbing 36 meters and then sitting up there the whole day and doing that twice, and that's gonna be for the rest of the week and half of the week next week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Finally gaining some muscles again, because I've been doing fuck all. I remember seeing it on Instagram. Yep, I posted it on Instagram today. Alright, so let's go and answer the question Aaron asked before the stream started. And he wanted to know, with a fade time of 1 second and by holding down the executor it stays, but when I release it, it fades out to normal 50% with a fade time of 1 second. Alright, so that's pretty easy. Before we start with the actual topic today, let's get... Alright, so let's off everything, and you want to have these lights. We're gonna go page up a little bit. So we're gonna store them with a dimmer of 100. We're gonna choose the option temp fader. You can click the black place or spot, and that will open up your sequence options, whatever. So we need a temp for that, and then we click on the Q spot. We're gonna put a fade of 1 in it, and then when we exit it, we have off time over here. So we're gonna put 1 second in here. You obviously can do whatever time, so it can be 10 seconds as well. So if I hold it down now, it will fade to 100 in 1 second, and if I let go, it will do the same and fade to 0 in 1 second. So I hope this answered your question. If you still want to know something, or if it didn't answer your question correctly, please let me know. Alright, so I'm gonna move over. Let's delete that really quick. Sequence 1. It's gone. So, as promised or said before in the chat, I'm going to start by scratch from 0. At the moment I have a stage loaded in, so I'm gonna delete that. I'm always keeping the most recent stage I've been working on either live or on just Visivik. I'll just update my show file with the current stage and then check in Visivik with actual fixtures patched how everything turns out and if it works or not. So let's delete all my layers. I have a section which is called don't delete. It's pretty obvious. It says, well, it shouldn't be deleted. So what it has in there is some dummy fixtures. I have a reverse size fader, inverted or whatever you call it. I have some dummy fixtures that once they are over 0% of dimmer value, they're gonna off some executors so it doesn't interfere with something else. I have a Mac Viper performance patched, so as soon as I delete my stage I still have everything up here. That is pretty important for my filters that I'm using, because if you delete your patch you're gonna lose some stuff like you see over here, and I actually need that to get my delay timings work. So by seeing the title, I assume you have some sort of macros that create everything from zero. It's not really creating it from zero. What it does is it fills up all my sequences. So I have everything already in place, all my effects and everything I use, my bumps over here. So now at the moment everything is, not everything, but most of it is empty. So if I click something, obviously it's not gonna do anything because we have nothing except for a weird line. But that doesn't matter. So let's off everything. Tommy, yeah, a lot of people have Lua scripts. I'm not really into Lua yet. I'm trying to learn it. And yeah, the possibilities with Lua are endless. With macros, you have some limitations. But yeah, as soon as I'm not reaching those limits that are given by macros, I'm fine with macros. Everything works with macros. I had one plugin that did some calculating stuff, but I really don't like plugins to run on my Showfile, which I didn't wrote myself. A friend of mine wrote it for me. And just to be extra safe, I tried to figure out a way with macros, and it works. So yeah, I have the plugin in my Showfile, but it's not used. Let's see if there's anything to answer. Alright, so let's start by getting my stage and patch. I'm gonna use a stage that I created on my own. I'm pretty known for copying Qdance stages, but that one is completely mine. So I got the pretty nice looking design center from Linz in Austria, where I basically learned this job, and it helped me getting where I'm at now a lot. So yeah, I got the 2D file or drawing of that venue, and I just transformed it into 3D in Visivik with a lot of patience and struggle, but yeah, it works now. Alright, so let's go back and get my patch. So I'm gonna use the export or import tool from Matthias Schöffmann. It's essential for me every time I build a stage in Visivik that only stays in Visivik is just a random patch by selecting everything and then patch it by random. So the fixtures aren't in a line patched, it's just in a random order. And I'm gonna fix everything with layout views. So let's get in here and make sure everything is checked. It is needed for the export tool. And then why is it loading? My laptop is really turning old. Or Visivik is just struggling with everything as usual. So now I went into File, Export. Let's open it. So I'm just gonna save it on my desktop, call it whatever. Let's give it a name. Stream. So now I'm gonna close Visivik. Yeah, because I don't have any USB ports left anymore, and I need to unplug my dongle. Alright, so Visivik is closed. Let's get a USB stick in. It's possible without a USB stick, but yeah, that's just copying files around or moving them, which I don't really like. Alright, so as we can see here now, you have my whole stage, all the fixtures that I've used or I'm using, fixture IDs, the count. I obviously have a lot of LED pores. So what we're gonna do is we click export files. I'm gonna choose my USB stick. I don't have to click the grandMA2 folder, it will do it automatically, store it in the right folders. And once that's done, I get a pop-up. I can close it down. And then the work in MA starts. So what I have to do is go into setup, import, export, macros. I select my USB stick. I'm gonna choose import layers, patch fixtures, move fixtures, and I'm gonna import them. I don't need create groups because that's doing a lot of chaos that I don't need. So now I'm just gonna click the macros. It asks me if it's saved in the internal folder of grandMA, which in that case it isn't, or on the USB stick. If it's on a USB stick, I'm gonna put in 4, press enter. Now I got all my fixtures and I can remove my USB stick and plug in my dongle to open up Visivik again. Matego. The stream will be possible to watch after it's finished, so it will be online, no worries. But staying in the stream is good if you have any questions, so I can answer and show them right away, which could help. Draft 2 and 3 are demo, right? Nah, I think the 4 is just a predefined user variable in the plugin, or in the macro for that export import tool. So now what I have to do is, if we go back to MA, we see all the fixtures are patched as dimmer. So now I need to go in here and check which mode it has. So BMFL blade, it is blade 42, I think, if I remember correct. Yes, so 42. Then my light forces, I still have them somewhere or not. For most of my stages that I'm using, I'm always using the same fixtures. I'm pretty lazy. P2, do I have them? Yes. P5, do I have them? No, I don't. P5, SGM, it's always a pain in the ass to find them. I think it's 6 channel. They're over here. Yeah, it is. So I'll take these. My mini pointy clear filter, mini pointy, which are located over here. They have 22 channels. That's the right one. My pointies are always in mode 2. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. But let's double check if it's correct. 16. My total fabs, my mole face, 4 light blinders. They can stay as dimmer. They obviously need a little bit of work to make them work. My strobes are 4 channel atomics. Atomic, 4 channel. And now we're gonna save. It obviously shows up a lot of errors. And now let's watch it patch. Amia, I remember the first time you showed me that plugin works. It is pretty epic. So I can demonstrate how awesome it is. Not just that one plugin or macro. It is actually for free. Everyone can download it. Obviously you need Visivik for that. But yeah, it's gonna help a lot saving patch and moving all my fixtures where they belong. Alright, so let's actually assign. Let's see what it does. Stage view. Zoom to fit. Is it already there? What the fuck is that stick doing? I made a huge mistake by placing the stage and the venue somewhere pretty far away from the 000 axis. Hey, Rental Abuse, how is it going? Nice that you joined my stream. Alright, so just to demonstrate how awesome this tool is, I'm gonna reset all of them. No, not this. Maybe oops works. Yes. So setup. I'm gonna put them to 0. I'm gonna put that to 0. I'm gonna put that to 0. And now, as we can see, the stage is gone, and if we click the macro, it will automatically place all my fixtures, which is very important for me to work, because I have them. I mostly work with layout views. I hate remembering fixture IDs, as some people do, like a friend of mine. Alright, so now, not really important questions. So once everything is done, we can delete those macros. So what I do now is I go into setup and choose groups to layout. So my starting group is 112. Obviously I didn't start with 111, which is a bit of a shame, but it doesn't matter. Let's just delete everything that is not used in the show file. Yes, so let's go out here, auto create, choose by layer. So obviously I'm gonna choose my pointies first, then my blades, my mini pointies, my P5, my P2, lead force, and then atomic, and the last is just stupid dimmer stuff. I'm gonna put 112 in here. I choose override, create all. It just created all these groups. I'm gonna select all of them and store them in all. And now I hit a bunch of macros, which will store them on the right spot. Oh no, not pointies. BMFL. Mini pointy P5, P2, LED strobes, and dim stuff. So now what it did is it labeled all these views. It stored all my groups that are available over here. Oh, damn, there are a lot of questions, or at least a lot of things going on in the chat. So let's see. Thomas, just a hi from Russia due to I'm limited attire for today. Work on my new show file. Don't know if 2021 will happen something, but I already wait for the festivals. Yeah, I'm waiting for the festivals again, and I used all my free time to upgrade my show file with everything that I always wanted to do and never had the time. Rental abuse, is that part of the Visivik to grandMA software? Yes, it is. It's pretty awesome. Everyone is high. Nope, I'm not high. Is there a link we can buy this plugin? It's, let me pull it up really quick and post the link in the chat. Week to grandMA2. Oh, there it is. So let's. I can't even go into my own chat. Oh, there it is. So for everyone that is wondering for the tool that I used, I put a link in the chat box and you can just download it. Tom van Straten back at it again. Yes, I'm pretty bored out. Alright, so let's move on and work. So I'm gonna, to set up my layout views, it always depends how my stage is laid out. So if a lot of fixtures are behind each other, I'm obviously gonna use the top view. If fixtures are below each other, or below each other, I'm gonna use the front view. So in that case, I'm gonna choose my front view. For all, it basically, I always choose the front view. It's a lot of chaos, but yeah, it's just doing a quick symmetrical selection. So yeah, and today I'm just gonna focus on the pointies, because doing all the fixture types take a little bit of time. And if you've seen one fixture type, it is exactly the same for the rest of them. So obviously I got my pointies now. I'm gonna do a pretty lazy symmetrical selection, which you can see here. If I highlight them, and I even got a tool for that. So I got my sim tester. It's gonna check if it's actually symmetrical. It's gonna run 2 times and it looks symmetrical. And once the macro is finished, it's gonna highlight everything back, and I can put that down here. So now I'm gonna focus on my 3-step chaser, or at least on the groupings. I have some groups that are necessary. I need to fill in some groups that are necessary for my 3-step chaser, which I have an own video about that, showing what it does. Let's see. Any more questions? Nope. If you got any questions, please add my name or highlight it so I can see it is a question or you guys are just chatting. Alright, so I'm gonna need all over here. Let's see if my store filter is correct. I'm always using that. So let's select the top one up. This will all make sense later in a bit. And then I take my symmetrical selection, click store 2 port, store 3 port, and now my groups for 3 port and 2 port are filled in as well. I'm gonna skip looks because that's just a 4th option to have a different look, whatever fits. Sometimes I use fixture type 1, fixture type 2, fixture type 3. Sometimes I use the fixtures that are standing on the stage, the fixtures that are hanging behind the stage, and the fixtures that are above the stage. Always depends what looks good. So now I'm gonna choose what I do for blocks. Obviously I'm gonna do a little bit more thinking when I do those, but for now it does the trick. And let's see. Yes, so my 3-step chaser thingy is almost done. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pointy group. I'm gonna check if they have color. No, they don't. So let's do that just really quick. Let's do global for now. It broke some stuff. Alright, deep red will be red. The blue will be blue. Yellow, I'll put in yellow. Normally I have a look at Visivik what color I'm actually putting in there, but for now it isn't for an actual show, so I'm gonna let's do magenta, UV, amber, pink. Yeah, that should do it. So what I do now is I'm gonna take my group, the pointies. I'm gonna go to my setup. I'll choose groups to color. I put them down here. Obviously they also go in the all group once all of those fixtures are stored in here. Tommy, almost as if it would be my Showfile. Pointers and BMFL, just missing the BIs. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of rope fixtures. I'm not really a big fan of clay packy. I had the BIs for some Christmas party, and I hate the fact that they don't tilt up to 135 degrees. So when they're pointed 90 degrees, the circle effects are going to look pretty shitty. So yeah, alright, let's go and fix my color stuff. So I'm gonna click my macro for my all colors. It's just a looping macro that goes from preset 1 to 2, 3, 4, and then stores it in Q1, 2, 3, 4 at the designated destination. So now I'm gonna do that for the pointies as well. They probably work, so let's check it out. If I go to my color, layout view, oh yeah, I got highlight on, and they are on red. Alright, cool, so that works. Do you repeat the same steps on each feature type? Yes. There are just a few different things that I do, but that's because some fixtures don't have position, some fixtures don't have beam, so yeah, that's just left out. But yeah, it's the same step for all fixture types. For some it's just a little bit quicker. So LED pours are pretty quick. It's just doing a selection, store those groups for my 3-step chaser, do some presets, and then it's done. Cedric, yeah, looping macros. What would my Showfile be without loops? Yep. As soon as I figured out looping macros, it changed my life forever. Cause I don't like, so if I pull it up, I don't like having macros that are pretty long. So that one has just 14 lines. It does what it needs to do, and it saved me a lot of time writing 12 macros, because you always have to change it. And what I did is I used variables, so whenever I copied that macro to color 1 to color 2, all I have to do is just change my sequence and my group, and that's it. And then the macro runs again, and I just need to change a few things in the macros already. So copy paste, and being lazy sometimes gets you really far. Alright, so next thing, my colors work. And now I'm gonna go over, select my symmetrical group, and go to setup. I'm gonna go to dim plus move. It's pretty easy. All I have to do is go to screen 3, store my group over here. I have 9 possibilities to store different groups from the same fixture type. So if I have pointies in one row in the back of the stage, let's say 40 of those, I'll just select them from left to right, store them in group 1. 1 of 9. And then I have pointies above the crowd. I'm gonna select those and then store it in group 1, 2 out of 9. And that's so on, because I don't want to have like the whole venue or the whole stage just or for that one fixture type in one effect. Because yeah, it doesn't look good. Sometimes I don't need it, sometimes I need it because it's a lot of fixtures. I haven't done that many, or I haven't done much shows where it's needed, but what I have saves me time. Alright. The best programmers are lazy programmers, always looking around to automate as much as possible. Yeah, it's pretty funny because whenever I do something and it takes 10 steps to achieve it, and I have to do those 10 steps, let's say 20 times in my Showfile to get everything ready. I try to find a macro that just does it with one click, and sometimes writing that macro and figuring out how to write it takes a whole day just to, yeah, save me those clicks every time. Because, yeah, I really hate doing stuff over and over again, which can be automated. So, yeah. Alright, so we start the first group. I'm gonna click my macro, which is called dim exec1. It's just my first group. I'm gonna label it pointy. So what it did now is it takes the selection into my effect. It labels the sequence. The sequence is sitting over here. And now we should see if we clear out, yeah, everything's cleared out, that my pointies are lighting up. Let's put them back to white. And there we go. There. So now I can just go through my effects. It's a sine wave. Let's reset my effect. Now it's a nice looking sine wave. Now let's do a ramp. Let's do a pulse width, a chaser, and an effect form that I created myself, which acts like a chaser, but it strobes the fixture kind of. So it's going zigzag, up, down, up, down, up, down, till 50%, and then it's just back on 0. Wait, can you explain that effect? Which effect, Cedric? Alright, so that's done for my dim effects. I'm gonna talk really quick about how I manipulate my effects. I have empty sequences that just change all my dimmer effects. So I can change my direction. I can reset it. So it's back to groups 0, blocks 0, wings 2. So it always looks symmetrical. But I can still change grouping 3. It instantly updates or works. So now it's a free port. So, and then same for wings. I have one sequence that is a little bit of a secret of mine. Maybe I'm gonna show it in another stream. The effect one is it just your main dim effect that gets edited. Yes, with my sequences I added where are they? All those dimmer effects you see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we go in here, we have a grouping of 3, block 0, wings 2, direction is forward, and it manipulates or changes it in all the different lines. And the lines are basically, so group 1 out of 9 is stored in the first one, group 2 out of 9 is stored over here, and so on, and that for all these effects. And the same for my movement. It's the same concept. All I have to do is click the effect, the marker that is over here, and now that, no, not that one. That one is filled up with these effects. It's pretty simple. It takes a lot of struggle, patience to write those macros. If I pull one up, it's pretty complicated. So let's, I think it's a looping macro inside of a loop. Is it? Yeah, that one. It's first looping that 3, 4, and 5, and then it goes over and loops 17 and 18. It's pretty complicated, but I can do a stream about macros some other day. Otherwise, we get lost into it. Okay, and those separate groups, just so the dim effect is not running through all fixtures, but nicely in your groups. Yeah, so let's say if I have LX1, LX2, LX3, every one of them has 20 pointies. I'd use LX1, store it in group 1 out of 9, and then LX2, 2 out of 9, and blah blah blah. And then I go over to the next fixture type and do the same over here. It's just a little bit of thinking forward how you want your show to look. You could totally write a macro where you only have to make one layout view and one set of main groups to create each feature type's groups and layout view. Yeah, I could, but I just like to still have a little bit of control how my symmetrical groups are going to look. Because I also do a lot of with a matrix and different selections, whatever. So whatever looks good and I can look at it for 12 hours, I'll take that. Alright, for my movement effect, it works pretty easy. If I go to position, I have the same down here for my movement. To manipulate my movement effects, it's pretty easy. It's the same method as with dimmers. And I start my movements over here. I can just select whatever, circle inside. I'll go and have my speed fader over here. And then I'll have a size fader, which is inverted. And then all it does is, let's pull up Viswig and let it struggle. So a few options. Boom. Now my effect runs. Let's just, if output tilt 90 degrees. Now my effect works. And with manipulating the effect, I can say 3-part. Obviously, when something is selected, it does some fuckery. But yeah, let's just move on. If there are any questions about dim and movement, please ask him and I can jump back. So now my dimmer effects are done, my movement effects are done, my colors work. Now I go over and do some presets, which is on screen 2. So I have my pointies over here. I'm a big fan of doing symmetrical stuff, not geometrical stuff. Oh yeah, my size fader doesn't work yet because it's not set up yet. No worries. I'll get to that in a bit. So dynamic. I have my pointies. I'll point them 90 degrees up. Go back to selective, save as default. Boom, 90 degrees. Then I do 45 degrees. Obviously, I'm gonna do some inverting, tilt, and pan if fixtures are upside down or standing on stage. I'll do 45 to the right, and then minus 45. That's just doing pretty quick. Oh yeah, I forgot something I'm using. Alright, I'm using filters to only have tilt information in there. So now it only affects, or it doesn't. Alright. So if I take my fixtures again, I'm taking a little bit more time to do my positions, but yeah, for the stream, that's doing it. And then we have those ones. Obviously, I'm also going to do a reset, which is just a default position, or when some fixtures are tilted a bit weirdly, my reset is always facing straight downwards to create whatever cool effect. Hey, random Q, really quick. Which menu filled the fixtures in Visivik? How do you mean exactly? Alright, let's wait for the question. So 45 degree to the left, I click my pan filter, and then minus 45, and do that. And then all I have to do, oh yeah, reset. Sorry. Pan reset, boom. So now I have to click another macro, which is also looping, and it fills up these sequences with position. So now I can point them out straight. I can do a circle inside, and I can do a grouping of 3. And now if we look at Visivik, it didn't took the default 90 degrees. Oh yeah. I have to click one macro to ready my presets. Now I run it again, and now it works. Add fill about storing pan or tilt. Use a macro with filter pan, store at filter all. Yeah, I'm still figuring out, or I'm still trying to rewrite the position setting up stuff. So it's probably gonna take a few more MA sessions till I figured out a good way. And since I mostly use 90 degrees, 45 degrees, blah blah blah, I can automate that as well. On my screen, the fixtures are just in the outline. Is that in the fixture option to add the fill color too? Do you mean in the layout view? Let's pull it up. So when I put dimmer on, it just lights up, and if it's off, it's just outlined. I hope that's what you're talking about. Alright, let's see if the thingy worked. Obviously, pulling up the dimmer would work. Oh yeah, now it's on 90 degrees. So if I'm going to set it back and reset it, my effect looks pretty different. And I can change my effects on the go. Some people like it, some don't. I do like it, so I'll keep it. It's pretty cool, especially if you have a 12-hour show of busking, or 14, which was my longest one. You obviously want to change your effects up a little bit, and I don't really like preparing effects for 14-hour shows beforehand, because I can't think that far ahead. No, I mean in Visivik, in the cat view. Let's see. Well, in a Showfile I wrote for someone recently, I used a temp fader for tilt. Yeah, works. I don't really like it. Sometimes I have a temp fader to like pull down my fixtures to zero position or to straight down, but it always depends on the show. Alright. Hey random, which menu filled the fixtures in Visivik? I have really no clue. It's just default for me. I haven't changed anything at all in Visivik. That's why some of my videos look garbage. I haven't really done some research in quality or, yeah, in the cat view. For some reason, my version of Visivik, it's just the color outline. Yeah, I really can't tell, or can't answer that. Which version do you have? I have R44. Maybe it's just an option thing in Visivik, but yeah, for me that was the default. Alright, yeah, presets. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit and pull up Visivik on my second screen to figure out all my that's off the effect to figure out everything. Maybe that works, or does it? Let me try to work something out to see Visivik. I haven't really prepared much because, yeah, I was working. So, yeah, let's take that, make it a bit smaller, and pull it up here. I hope everyone can see Visivik and MA at the same time. Smart Live, friends greeting from Russia. Hey, pretty cool. People from Russia are watching my streams. How are you doing? Can you just give a short view of the symmetrical test macro? Yes. It's pretty easy. It's using a matrix. Alright, so my symmetrical tester, all it looks, or all it does, or how it looks, is just that. It uses predefined, or from myself, matrix. I can pull it up in a bit. It creates a variable, and then it just loops itself as many times as it has fixtures, and it does it twice because if I use wings 2, it's half. So let's say if you have 20 fixtures, then it would only step through 10 fixtures, and MA can't really divide in macros, so I'll just do it double, and it's good to check it. And I can adjust the speed with a wait time over here, and that's basically all it does. And for the matrix, I can't really remember. 48. So all it does is put wings of 2, and that's it, and that just next through. Presets. Let's get back to presets. So obviously I'm gonna be lazy again to store some gobos. I only use 5 gobos. I obviously gonna take a little bit of time to figure out which gobos look good, and then I only use 5 of them. So 5 in the rotation if they have it, and 5 in shake mode, which some fixtures have and some don't. So yeah, always depends. And for the shake, I use the same macro, the same gobo that is on 1. I also store in shake 1 with the shake option. So let's just go through and quickly store that. And then I have some options for rotation, but the pointy doesn't have it, so I'm gonna skip that. And then I'll choose some gobos and store them over here for my 3-step chaser. And then I'll move over to beam. Alright. Dynamic. That shouldn't be here. Yeah, there was some messing up in my view, but it doesn't matter that much. So what I need is open, then fast strobe, which is stored in fast sync, max random. That one doesn't look, nah, it's alright. And then closed, boom. I'll take open, store it over here. I'm gonna write a macro to automate that stuff, because I can be asked with that. I obviously gonna do some prisms as well, but not when I use VisiVic, because then VisiVic kind of gives up, and my laptop. Let's see if there are any questions. Shake it, baby. Hey Pim, how's it going? I really don't get why some people don't like gobo shakes. It is amazing. I like it. I'm a fan of it. If you have any problem with gobo shakes, step it up with me. Alright, so let's move over to focus. That's a pretty easy thing to set up. White, and that's done. And then what I do next is go over and go to bumps. I'm gonna skip my color effects because that's basically the same way as Christian Jackson does it, and I never use it because I have my 3-step chaser and I don't like color effects that much. So let's go into bumps. I click my setup size fader, which will take all moving heads, or all fixtures that are moving heads, and stores it in that group. Yeah, that works. And then it kind of sets up my inverted size fader. And then what I do next is, let me get my group again, ponies. Oh, they are here as well. I click my macro that says set up preset executors, which is doing a lot. And I'm gonna pull up the command line so you can all see how big that macro is. And it's gonna take a while. Yeah, Gobo Shake is really good for EDM and dance stuff. I wouldn't really use it in a band or whatever. Or maybe in a metal band. Something that goes fast. That's where Gobo Shake belongs to. Can you move your Visivik a bit? Yeah. Let's just move it over here. Go back to that view. Alright, so now what it did is get all my stuff, all my presets in here. We can check it if it works. Yeah, that one works. So obviously the top row is for all my fixtures, and then the ones below they have color codes, and they follow those 4 first dimmer executors, and the rest that is down here in the bottom, that is for everything else. So if I'll change Gobos down here for my pointies, it will take my pointies to Gobo 2. It is basically just the same sequence but copied on executors, and they are sitting, or they have a world assigned to it, which automatically gets stored with the long as macro. So all the fixtures that are sitting in my first executor will be stored in the world that is using these ones. So rotate doesn't work. That one works as well. Prism we didn't store. Zoom, narrow, yep, that works as well. And what I can do over here as well is just go really quick to my chaser or to my dim effects, and I can do that for all of them as well. So that's a quick way of starting them at the same time to do some left and right blah 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 stuff. And now just one more thing, all my fixtures that have colors need to be stored in my group 1010 to make something in my bumps work. But first we're gonna check my delays and set that up. So I'm gonna take my symmetrical group, go to delays, I clear them all. Now there's nothing there. I click one macro, my delays are basically finished, and now my release thingies are as well, and then I click copy to release. And now everything that has delay possibilities works now, so we can check that out with my color layout view. That works. I can do the same for my presets. I can also do that for positions. I can choose for every group delay or not. And the way I deal with my timing is with a rate fader. Everything, it only takes, let me see, five delay presets with delay times in there. So left to right, right to left, outwards inwards, and inwards outwards, and a 0 delay. And that gets just stored in my executors where it's needed, with some command lines in executors or sequences, empty ones. And then it's basically set up. And the way I deal with it is I have it, everything that has delay or can have delay is linked to my rate fader. So now if I change my color, it will always obviously go a little bit slower. If I have a high rate, it goes pretty fast. That's the way I deal with delay times. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but not many people know about rate faders. So everything I can tap on the beat, so my delays, when they go from left to right and I start them on the beat, it also finishes on the beat. So that was always my main goal to achieve, and I figured it out with rate faders. It works perfectly. And my rate fader, I mostly tap. I have it down on my X buttons over here. Always accessible to tap it to the beat. I also have some cue lists that automatically do it if I have sound input, but that does some weird stuff once in a while, so I stay away from that. Don't tell all the secrets about rate faders. Shit, I just did. Fuck. Let's rewind. Rate faders are shit. They don't work. And I lost it. Oh yeah, if you want a rate fader or a speed master or whatever on a button down here, you need to open it by clicking an empty space. I don't know why, but that's how MA works. And then make it learn. That way I can tap it. And now for my bumps. So once my delays are set, I can click that one, which does some cool shit I'll show in a bit. And then I click store bumps. I'll do that once everything is finished. So all my presets are done for all my fixture types, everything, blah blah blah. And then I can go on and hit that one. So now if I'll check it, probably has some issues that I haven't figured out yet. I need to run it again. Still doesn't work. Oh yeah, there's. Oh yeah, I know why. Now it should work. And it still doesn't. Okay, that works, that works, that works. That one doesn't. Let's check what it has. Obviously I broke a lot of stuff as well, updating. Let's make it very slow. Oh, there's no color information. Let's check. Bumps. Let's clean the sequence and then run it again. Oh yeah, now it works. So what I can do now is, I mean, obviously I'm gonna use my color wheel fixtures for that. It's only made for LED. And why I have it is because I really love when color wheel fixtures turn from red to blue. They have white in between. And in VisiVig you can't see it, but in real life you can. And if I speed up my rate fader, you can see what it does. So it runs whatever I have selected for low color. So let's take green and magenta. It runs the color. It puts a really quick tenth white, and then the color again, and then another 10th white, and all it looks like that. It's pretty cool. I only use my left fixtures for that because it goes pretty quick for the music I do. So yeah, color wheel fixtures aren't made for that one. And then for my other bumps, I have a color release, which it goes to the color 1. So let's choose red. Let's choose red. It goes to the color 1 instantly, and then it releases it back to whatever color is sitting. So if I click it, it will go to red and then go back to whatever color it has. So if I'll change them to blue, if I click it again, it will go to red and then back to blue. I have two directions, inwards, outwards, and outwards, inwards. Then I have a color flash thingy that flashes color on my low color and my high color. So everything I do with color, except for my free step chaser, which I will set up in a bit. Everything that includes color, I use low color and high color, and I can change them up however I want them. So now it's red, blue. Obviously, if I have blue selected, and let's go to green. So now that stuff works again. Alright, so let's set up my free step chaser. Since most of it is already there, all I have to do is take my pointies. Oh yeah, it's gone. Store them in that group. Click that macro. Click ready up. I put a wait time just to see it work. And now my free step chaser works. So let's see if it does. Oh yes, it does. So a little quick explanation. That's gonna be the last thing for today, and then I'm gonna take care of some questions. So I have 8 different options for my selection, how my free step chaser runs. So if I have left, right, I have down, up, I have 2-port, I have look. Obviously I'm not going to use that, we didn't store that. I have all, so it goes to whatever I have selected, goes back to, or it releases it what it had before. And I have blocks. So obviously I'm gonna put a big block of lights and then divide it by 3 and make it symmetrical. A 3-port, and I can also speed that up with my rate fader. So if I really do it slow, it also immediately works. And let's keep my left and right and make it a bit faster. No, that's too fast. And to my free step chaser, I can select a color. It instantly updates Obviously green is selected. I can use strobe. Just open or close. Close looks really cool with moving stuff. I can release it back to the state it was before. And to show how that works is now I'm gonna close my shutter. So now it is on release and it stays closed. I can click open and I kind of reverse. I can reverse the effect or how the three-step chaser works. I can obviously close it, but then it doesn't do anything. So let's just open it again and it works. So let's release that. I can do the same for gobo. The first one is open, the second one is my gobo, and the third one is that same gobo with a shake. I don't know if it really worked out. And then I didn't store pen, so we're not gonna see anything with pen. I can release my tilt, and tilt and pen is separated. And I can also release my zoom. So now let's take wide zoom and then release it. I can do the same for color as well. So even if it's running now, it doesn't do anything. So now let's just take down and close it. Now it gives you that cool effect. And then I have a way to choose. Let's take all. I can choose what it does in step 1, 2, and 3. So Q1, 2, and 3. So I can choose red. Did it work or not? Oh yeah, open. So now let's release. Only do color. So in Q1 we're gonna do red, in Q2 we're gonna do blue, and then in Q3 we're gonna do green. So it always takes the color and what I have selected, and then it goes back to whatever was before. So maybe it looks a little bit better if I take blocks and a different color. Let's do white. And yeah, I don't really use it that often. So now I can just go back to close and all up. And then I have a really cool thing, which obviously, or sometimes when I do a chaser like that, I want to see a little bit of a color change. I clicked red, but you can't see it. You might see it on color wave fixtures because it takes a little bit of time, but not on left fixtures. So what I did, and I'm not gonna tell how, I'm just gonna show it. I can delay color. So now I can see a little bit of color. I can do the same for position and delay it. And that's some secret stuff. I'm not gonna show that how it works. Maybe someone can figure it out. If you do, let me know. And yeah, that's it for today. I'm thinking about doing a stream about dummy fixtures, because I probably think a lot of people don't know, or I've seen it in the grandMA group, what you can use it for and what you can do with it. It's pretty powerful. You can do a lot of cool things with it, and a lot of dummy stuff happens in my show file as well. That's just hidden behind the surface. So yeah, maybe about that, maybe about macros again. I did one already, so you can watch that one. Alright, so let's go and watch some questions. And yeah, one more thing about the three-step chaser. I can take in fixtures and I can take them out. So now the pointies don't work again, and now they do again. So it's the executors are sitting in a world or have a world assigned, and I can take fixtures inside of that world and I can take it out. So if I take them out, the executor loses the fixture type. It doesn't do anything with it anymore until I put it back and I have a dummy fixture in there. Because if you have nothing stored in the world, if I take all my 5 groups out, I have everything on again because the world is empty. So there's just one dummy dimmer channel that doesn't do anything, just sitting in that world. So whenever all my fixtures are out that I'm using in the show, there's that one dummy channel sitting in that world that makes it not empty. What's the opposite of empty? Full. I don't know. At least there's a selection in it, or a fixture. All right. And you got one low and high for your whole show, or also separate high lows for bumps or color effects. No, everything that I use with colors, except for my free step chaser that you see over here, is low and high color. These two. That's all of it. Cause yeah, I don't wanna set low and high for that, for my bumps. I don't wanna set a low high for my color effects extra. I just do everything. So that's basically how I like to work, and it always kind of worked for me. So yeah. Alright, so if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat box. I'm gonna take some time to answer them, and if there are no questions at all, I'm gonna end the stream. Also a big thanks to my girlfriend, because she keeps sending me WhatsApp messages whenever there is a question in the chat, but sometimes I oversee them. So thank you, honey, for that. Otherwise, I had one stream where I pulled up Streamlabs and it didn't kind of load in the chat. So I thought, it's pretty quiet, no one asks any questions, and then I opened YouTube at the end of the stream and I've seen a bunch of questions. But yeah, I'm not really a streamer. I just do that because of Corona and trying to help people. So yeah, it's bad quality, but it's something. So yeah. Are there any questions? Let's have a little bit of a waiting time, because the stream is a little bit delayed. I know for sure. So yeah, about my show file, why I do it that way and not use cloning. I kind of tried it out the first time when I started to build a startup show file, and just followed the videos of Christian Jackson, probably as anyone else that starts with Lightning or with grandMA. But that really didn't do it for me. It was, back then it was kind of complicated for me. I didn't really know what it does, and I don't like when a lot of stuff goes on that I'm not aware what it really does. So I just tried to figure out a way of having my startup show file the way it is set up, because all my executors or all my buttons, effects, they always stay on the same place where they are now. And when I go from one stage to the next one, I basically start off with a clean patch, so there are no fixtures in there, and all my sequences, executors, bumps, blah blah blah, all of them are empty. So now I tried to figure out ways of filling that up with macros with as less work as possible. And that's how I got here, basically. I mean, I started off with learning grandMA 3 years ago. I had my first real live light show 2018 in Austria on a farmer party. It's pretty nice because you can do a lot of mistakes and fails and trial and error there, because the people care about drinking and not really having to watch a good show. And it went good. I wasn't really happy with me, but yeah. And then the second show I did was some techno, which I'm never gonna do again, because that's slow as fuck and boring for 12 hours listening to the same music. And the third one, I kind of got lucky with Q-Dance, talking them into giving me a stage, and I got the Better Community stage on the last Cubase edition with 40 Psych FX8, with 10, they were spread 4 Psych FX8 per truss, and I had 10 trusses going from front to back. So above the crowd there were 40 Psych FX with the output is pretty bright and they're pretty fast, because it was music that was going up to 360 BPM, and I could still do movement effects with them to that music. So I got really lucky, and then yeah, it went to, I did some shows there and there. The problem is for me, it's pretty hard to like get a grip in Holland, because everyone wants to be an operator. There are so many operators that try to make it, and yeah, I'm trying to impress people and getting clients with all my timecode shows that I put a lot of effort for free basically, but it's advertising what I can do. So yeah, for the people that want to try to start with Lightning or with grandMA, that's basically the way. Just take your free time, try to nerd out how MA works, maybe start doing timecode shows, upload it to YouTube. I mean, the first ones I did were pretty much shit. They got a lot of views somehow, but yeah, that's basically how I got most of my jobs, because I can tell a client, hey, I didn't do many shows yet, but watch what I can do. And yeah, it kind of worked. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream for today. I hope you had fun. Make sure to subscribe. Now I'm doing the average YouTuber shit. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. If you really like the stream and you want to support me, there is a donation link in the description. Every penny helps, and it's a nice gesture. And yeah, for the people that are watching it where it's not live anymore, you can drop some questions in the comments. If I'll see them, I'll try to answer them. So yeah, thanks for joining in, and probably see you next time. I'm gonna be busy for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna plan doing more streams again, because I'm really bored out. So have a nice evening, afternoon, morning,